Rugby World Cup 2023, folks. Pool A. Italy up against Uruguay. Apologies, my voice. Still not quite 100%, but we are getting there. We're going to go through some squads, predictions, recent history stats. So you guys can let us know your thoughts on how this one's going to go. A lot of positive vibes about this Uruguayan side after their good showing against France. And Italy have been sitting for a week with their opening game against Namibia in the bank way back in week one. They will have been getting ready for this game. Remember, Italy have kind of got their two easy games, if you want to call it that, before facing the All Blacks in France. So they've got a chance to build a bit of momentum going into those two kind of crucial games at the end where they need to get a result in one of them. So, yeah, they've still got Uruguay on the cards first. Coach Kieran Crowley was talking a lot about how he thinks this one's going to be a big battle. He talked about how he saw Uruguay kind of coming onto the scene back when he was coaching Canada like 15 years ago. Seemed pretty impressed with the progress they've made. And yeah, we're seeing some of that now. Now, the recent history between these sides is actually relatively recent, with the most recent game being a 17-10 win for Italy back in Italy in 2021. So not that long ago in the scheme of things, and it was, like I said, only a 7-point game. So relatively close, although from memory at that point, Italy were on a string of losses and hadn't been playing that well. I feel like maybe that's about when they started to turn a corner, to start to get some kind of positive results. I think maybe that was at their low point, but correct me if I'm wrong. They've also played back in 2007, 2001, 1999. So Italy, they get all the wins across those games, but the closest is certainly that most recent one where it was a 7-pointer a couple of years ago. Italy have kept things relatively stable from the side that beat Namibia a couple of weeks ago, but have certainly made an interesting change at 10. But we'll start with the front row: Fischetti, Nicotera, and Riccioni. That's the front row. Asked why Riccioni was getting a start this week, Kieran Crowley basically said because he was coming back from injury in the last game, so they kind of played him from the bench, and he's one of their best props, so they want to start him, which makes sense to me. It's a pretty mean-looking front row. If you've got Fischetti, Nicotera, and Riccioni up against the All Blacks, I think that's going to be an interesting battle, man. Those are really, really good props. Cannone comes in the second row alongside Ruzza, and then Negri, Lamaro, and Lorenzo Cannone is the back row. So the back row is unchanged. Lorenzo Cannone got man of the match and beat 4 defenders against Namibia, so look for him to make some big carries. And Lamaro, the captain, had like 19 from 19 tackles, so expect him to be defensively sound. Alessandro Garbisi comes in at 9. Remember, he didn't play in the last game. And then Tommaso Allan shifts to 10. He played fullback at the last game. So instead of having the dual playmakers at 10 and 15, this week they've kind of got them at 10 and 12 because Paolo Garbisi switches to 12. I think that's his first ever test start at 12. But at Montpellier, he, I think, at least semi-regularly plays 12. So it's not an unfamiliar position for him. And then Brex is there at 13. Pani comes in on the right wing. Ioane is still there on the left. And Capuozzo is there at 15. And it was giving Capuozzo a game at 15. That was a big part of the reason for everyone else shifting around. Because remember, Capuozzo played on the right wing last time. So they wanted to give him a game at 15. So Paolo moves and Tommaso moves. I mean, Capuozzo got like 6 defenders beaten against Namibia. And Garbisi, Paolo Garbisi had 100 plus run meters. Monty Ioane had 4 defenders beaten 100 plus run meters. They got some really good attacking backs in this Italian back line, so expect them to move things around. Remember, there's no Morisi for this one with all those changes, but we've still got Bigi, Zani, and Ciccarelli as your forward and the front row replacements. Those guys are all into the 23. Dino Lamb drops to the bench. Zuliani is there. They did ask if they were kind of tempted to start Zuliani for this one, given the threat that Uruguay face or pose at the breakdown. But Kieran Crowley said nope. He wanted to keep a bit more physicality with that back row. But I mean, Zuliani had 68 meters, 2 turnovers, 1 from the bench, scored a try. He was real busy, so you can see why there's a bit of excitement to maybe start him. And then Pittinelli is also there as well. So just the 2 backs in Fusco and Odogwu for the Italians. So clearly thinking they're going to bring things up front. For Uruguay, remember they played relatively recently, only playing France about a week ago, so it's a shorter turnaround for them than for the Italians, but they certainly won't be rusty having played last week. They've kept things relatively stable, but I am pleased to see Roman Kessler back into the front row at hooker. He played at the last World Cup and genuinely looked phenomenal. So the fact that he's back from injury is a great bit of news. So he is there at number 2. Remember the guy Aliaga, the lock, had a couple of turnovers won. They had Ardal, the number 6. He had a couple of turnovers won. They had both the wingers winning turnovers. That's what the press are asking about this Uruguayan squad at the breakdown for. They were genuinely really tough. So that's going to be one for the Italians to watch out for. Santiago Arata continues on at number 9. And Kieran Crowley was singing his praises, saying he's one of the best scrum halves who plays in France. Echeverri putting a lot of boots to ball is going to mean the Italians need to be mindful of his kicking game. Gaston Mieres comes in at number 14. And that guy, Baltazar Amaja, the fullback, he is proper dangerous. Against France, he had a pretty good effort. He had a try, he had 2 clean breaks, and he beat 8 defenders. So, yeah, not just the Italians who've got some pretty kind of exciting backs in their side. I think, though, Uruguay would like to get a little bit more go-forward ball from their forwards because they didn't get a heck of a lot of that. Their forwards were great defensively, but need to maybe offer a few more options, ball in hand. They've also brought in Arbello and Carlos Dios on the bench. Otherwise, things are pretty stable. It looks like they got 3 backs on the bench for this one as well. So not quite as forward-orientated on the bench as the Italians. Stats-wise, man, against Namibia, Italy tackled at 92%. They had 12 clean breaks and 42 defenders. But they had 19 turnovers conceded. Remembering that first week, in terms of the weather, was really hot. And a lot of the teams had a lot of drop ball. I feel like the Italians, they put 50 points on Namibia. They would have got more if not for all that drop ball. So they'll need to reduce some of those errors. Uruguay, they were phenomenally well organised defensively against France. 87% tackle percentage, won a heap of turnovers. But the set piece, the line-out was 78%. The scrum was 5 from 9. That's an area that kind of let them down. They'll need to increase those against Italy, and they'll need to reduce the penalty count, which was 16 against France. They did win, though, 5 clean breaks to France's 4. The fact that you can out-clean break that French side at a World Cup in France shows you how exciting this Uruguayan side can be. It is on at Nice. It's a Wednesday game, which is a kind of early kickoff, 5:45 in the evening for the locals, which is 3:45 in the morning on Thursday for those of us in New Zealand. So I'll probably get up and watch this one. I'll see how my voice is going, though. Angus Gardner is the ref. Predictions-wise, the bookies are saying Italy by 24 points. And the Rugby Forecast algorithm says Italy by 20. So despite the fact that the most recent result was 7 points and that Uruguay put in a great shift against France not too long ago, Italy predicted to just be way too good. But they'll be looking to get a bonus point out of it, you would imagine. We'll see how things go. You guys let us know your thoughts. And I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.